Welcome back to Chats and Recaps. As always, my name is Sammy.
And I'm Mimi.
And today we're doing a chat. So let's get to chatting. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
And don't forget to hit that notification bell so that you never miss an upload.
Man alone has the power to transform his thoughts into physical reality. Man alone can dream and make his dreams come true. Napoleon Hill.
Everything is within your power, and your power is within you. Janice Tratman.
Everything you want is out there, waiting for you to ask. Everything you want also wants you, but you have to take action to get it. Jack Canfield.
Know without a shadow of a doubt that what you want most is coming straight to you. Catherine Hurst.
You are the master of your destiny. You can influence, direct, and control your own environment. You can make your life what you want it to be. Napoleon Hill.
If you are clear about what you want, the world responds with clarity. Loretta Staples.
Welcome back. Thanks for tuning in again for another episode today. And we're going to be talking about the law of attraction. Personal favorite.
Very personal favorite.
Yes. So for those of you that are new to it, welcome. You use the law of attraction to find this podcast. And congratulations, you're taking the first step. And we're going to share with you our viewpoints on law of attraction, kind of what we've learned, how we've incorporated it into our lives. And then at the end, we're going to give you some, not homework, but just if you're interested in learning more and you want to change your life around as well, we're going to let you know some good things to watch and read. So getting started, we're going to talk about, first of all, what is the law of attraction? And so you gave a pretty good definition just now of what the law of attraction was.
Well, actually, I was reading on Wikipedia and...
On Wikipedia?
Yeah, Wikipedia. And we all know that people like me and you create these from research. So what they do is people like me and you, they go and they collect all this data and research, and then they create the articles like a blog. Well, I found one on the law of attraction. It gives a little definition about it, and it says, in the new thought philosophy, the law of attraction is the belief that positive or negative thoughts bring positive or negative experiences into a person's life. The belief is based on the ideas that people and their thoughts are made from pure energy, and that a process of like energy attracting like energy exists through which a person can improve their health, wealth, and personal relationships. There is zero empirical scientific evidence supporting the law of attraction, and it is widely considered a pseudoscience. Now,
pseudoscience means fake.
Right, which I don't believe because, of course, you know, people don't want you to believe in these things because they don't want you to better your life. So they want to keep you suppressed. Why not call it pseudoscience? Because what you can't see doesn't exist.
But at the same time, the whole point of the law of attraction is if you want to attract certain things into your life, then you need to emit the proper wavelengths to do so. Meaning, if you want to attract good things to happen to you, you have to think good things. You have to feel good things, meaning good feelings, positive thoughts, saying positive things instead of negative things, thinking about the abundance of instead of the lack of, like seeing the glass half full instead of the glass half empty. So it's like, what does it hurt you in your life to start thinking positively, regardless?
Nothing.
It doesn't hurt you.
Nothing at all. I mean,
what's wrong with being in better spirits? Having better thinking?
Yeah, I believe
healthier.
in law of attraction. And the reason that I believe in law of attraction is because whatever you're feeling and thinking is what you're attracting. So if you wake up and you say how I used to be, because I used to be like the most negative person ever. I would wake up, and if the wrong foot touched the floor, up there goes my day. And then it just creates that line, like everything just starts going down. Then you get up, your toothpaste falls all over the place. Now you got to clean that up. Your makeup starts breaking. Now you got to clean that up. And now you got no makeup. You go to make coffee. It spills on the best shirt you thought you had on. Now you got to go change it to something else you don't like. And it just keeps going and going and going and going. It's like a domino effect. Now, if I get up, regardless of which foot touches the floor, and be grateful that my foot is touching the floor and that I'm getting up, everything else just goes nice and smooth because I'm just radiating positive gratification throughout the day. So law of attraction works.
I'm sure we've all been guilty of it. Like we wake up, one bad thing happens and you're like, oh, there goes my day. And then there goes the negative thinking. And then what happens when you think negative thoughts? You keep attracting negative energy. Like, oh, great. Now what's going to happen next? It's like you're already putting it out into the universe. You're asking the universe to give you the next bad thing to happen that day. So that's why it's like, it's such a negative thing to say without even realizing when you go, oh, what's the worst that can happen? Or what's going to happen to me next? You're like putting it out there without knowing it. You're basically asking for the energy you're getting back. And I mean, like we've all gone through it, and we watched a movie that really like puts everything into perspective. Like when I watched it, it was just like everything just made sense to me. And it's because it's like you almost already know it, but you don't realize it. Like how people say misery loves company. Why does misery love company? Because when somebody puts out misery, they are attracting more misery. Like we have so many little phrases and things and stuff that people say and that people kind of almost, it's like you only listen to it in certain moments, but there's such like a bigger picture to that. Like if you can be miserable and attract more miserable people, imagine what will happen if you were putting out their wealth, if you're putting out their positivity, if you're putting out their goodness. Then you're going to attract those things into you the same way that misery attracts misery. Why do we have to be in the mentality that only when you think negative and you just assume you're going to attract negative? Why can't we rewire that thinking and go, well, if negative can attract negative, why can't positive attract positive? Why is it so much harder for people to believe that than it is to believe that you can attract negativity? So if you believe that you can attract, that more negative attracts more negative, that bad people attract bad people, and so on and so forth, then it's the same thing for positivity and happiness and that type of energy as well.
It's like sometimes when a person is out there dating and they've had a couple of boyfriends and they're fed up, or girlfriends, and they're fed up and they're like, why do I keep attracting people that are not good in my life? And it's because you keep putting it out there. Because you keep telling the world that that's not what you want, the world doesn't hear that. It just hears that's what you want. Not that it's not what you want, is that's what you want. So you keep attracting what you don't want because you're so focused on what you don't want that you're not focusing on what you really do want. And I think that's the problem with us. Our minds are set to focus on the things we dislike, on the things that annoy us, on the things that, make us unhappy, instead of focusing on the things that do make us happy, that things that we are grateful for. So stop putting that energy out there. It's like I heard one time, do not fill your head with bad energy or bad thoughts because you're just loading up your head and it's taking up space. It's not paying you rent. Let it go. Let it all go. And just start focusing on positive things and watch it. You're going to change. Everything is going to change in your life. It changed for me. I was the most negative person. And anybody who knew me knows I was the most negative person. But I'm changing the way I think. I'm changing the way I speak. I'm changing the way I feel. And everything else just changes. It's a domino effect. It's a domino effect.
That's true. If you look back into your life, you will see that the law of attraction was at work all the time. And I say it's like looking back at things that happened in my life. In my first job, I saw myself being in that job. I wanted that job. I said I was going to do that job, and I got that job. When I was in that job, I said my next step was that I was going to be a leader. I saw myself in that role. I said I was going to be in that role, and sure enough, I was. And then little things, little changes started coming along the way, and I started getting a negative mindset. Didn't want the change to happen, didn't want the change to happen. And then guess what? The change happened because that's what I was putting my energy towards. Without realizing it, I was manifesting those things to happen without realizing it. And then as soon as I changed my mindset again, I said, I'm going to get out of this. I'm going to be in the position that I want to be. And I saw myself there. And then sure enough, I got it. So even looking back at like things in my life, yes, I have always been using law of attraction, whether I knew it or not. I was manifesting those things. What I was putting my energy and thoughts into is what was happening. And it goes back to like the example of dating. A lot of people are so stuck up on the things that they don't want in a person, the things that they don't want. And then they end up attracting those exact things. Like, oh my gosh, you know what? The last thing I would want is a cheater. Why do there have to be so many cheaters in the world? And then that's what all you are seeing is because that's what you're putting your thoughts and energy towards, and that's what you're manifesting that's being attracted to you, whether you're saying you don't want it or not. Again, it's like when they say, like in school, like the whole idea of a bully. It's like, oh, stop giving the bully attention. The more attention you give to the bully, the more that the bully is going to bully, right? So it's the same thing with anything else in the world. If you're worrying about debt and you're thinking about debt, guess what you have?
You're going to be in more debt.
Debt. You're going to have debt. Well, what do you think the difference is between the people who are successful and the people that aren't successful? The people who aren't successful are always thinking, oh, well, I don't want to fail. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. I don't want this to happen. I don't want that to happen. You're focusing on so many things that you don't want, that you keep manifesting those things that you don't want. What if you thought instead, oh, I'm going to have this. I'm going to be successful in this. I'm going to go here in my life. I'm going to go there in my life. I'm going to get lots more money. I'm going to get a raise. I'm going to get this or that. And see what happens when like you change that mindset to thinking about the things you want. Like, why would you want to put energy and focus into things you don't want?
True story. Just like my story. Okay. There was many, many, many times that we were in so much debt we had to file for bankruptcy. We swam in so much debt that I felt like we couldn't breathe because our nose was underwater. And I was focusing so much energy on our debt, losing money, having no money, constantly focusing on having any money, and we never had money. And all we kept focusing on, oh my gosh, we don't have enough for this. We don't have enough for that. My favorite phrase for my kids were, what do you think? Money grows on trees? They don't grow on trees. So, or we can't get that, or we can't do this, or we can't do that, or we can't go there. We don't have the money for that. So I didn't know that we were feeding into the universe what we didn't want. So we kept feeding that and feeding that and feeding that. And we felt like, oh my gosh, when are we going to get out of all of this? We keep trying. And every time we keep trying, everything keeps coming down. So we went to buy a home. And when we first bought our home in Florida, I saw myself living there. I saw it as our home. I never said that house. I said my house. We purchased the home. So I used law of attraction, but I didn't know that's what I was doing. And then one day we were driving in the car and I was telling my husband, I said, and this was all before I heard anything about law of attraction. I said, I put a lot of energy out there when we was buying this house. I saw myself in that house. I said it was my house and we got it. There's got to be something to that, right? Mm-hmm. And he's thinking, what do you mean? I said, it made me feel powerful. It made me feel like I can control my destiny. But how do I get back there to do that? it was hard because then I started going right back into my negative. We lost that house. We were broke. We didn't know where we were going to do or where we were going. I would get a job, then I would leave the job. And then we found the movie that she was talking about. And we watched it, and it changed everything. It changed everything. I started using the law of attraction. We got our new home. We're very well off. And it just keeps getting better because I keep throwing out there the positives, and not the negatives. And your whole mindset changes. I don't say, how are we going to pay for that? I say, we're paying for that. Because once you start doing, it's like a domino effect. Everything else comes. You just got to put it in place. One of the quotes from that movie, which I really like, is whatever you're thinking and feeling today is creating your future. And it is. It's creating your future.
And yeah, same thing with me. I watched that movie as well. Actually, I just recently watched it like a week or two ago. Mm-hmm. And I feel like I watched it at the perfect time because everything just made sense to me. And it's something that I mean, technically, I feel like I've kind of been practicing it for a while, but now that I truly understand it and know how it works, it would make us an unstoppable force. Like when you are able to change your way of thinking, and once you start seeing and manifesting all of those positive things, and it's not gonna be like all of a sudden you're just gonna be in your dream house or anything overnight. I mean, it doesn't really work that way, but you'll start seeing the little things happen, and then everything just starts falling into line. Like with us, I want to say like a year ago, we had talked about opening our own business, and it was like we just kept hitting walls and walls and walls. And then we watched this film, and it kind of completely changed our way of thinking, and it put us back on course. And then now it's like things are just falling into place with us moving towards our goal of opening our business. And I also have a quote that I like. This one wasn't from the film, but there's like so many different law of attraction quotes. Mm-hmm. This one in particular says, what you radiate outward in your thoughts, feelings, mental pictures, and words, you attract into your life. Quote is from Catherine Ponder. And it's really true. We are all energy. We're all vibrations, and like vibrations attract like vibrations. So if you're putting out the vibrations there of positivity, and the trick is, like, let's say that your goal is that you want to be wealthy. Mm-hmm. Well, you can't say, oh, I need more money. I need more this. I need more that, because you're still putting in there like your lack of what you have. You're saying that you lack something and you need more of it. Well, you have to see yourself already in that abundance. So say, I am wealthy. I do have these things. Money is coming to me. Mm-hmm. I have money. My money attracts more money.
That's right.
My money will multiply. I will have an even more further abundance of money than I have now. You have to see yourself already there. And it's, for some people, I know it's not an easy thing, but whatever it is that helps you get into that mindset, whether it's, and this is a story I also like that I've shared with everyone. First of all, my favorite singer, Selena, mm-hmm. She used the law of attraction, probably without even knowing it. But if you start looking at a lot of like really successful people, whether it's celebrities, business owners, whatever, they all use the law of attraction. And that's why I love watching the Selena movie, because she was using the law of attraction without knowing it. Because to her, there was no such thing as no success. To her, she was already going to make it. To her, the roadblocks didn't exist. And guess what? For her, they didn't. And she was the first female to make it in Tejano music, when back in those days, it didn't happen. And she made it happen. Yeah. Because she didn't believe that those boundaries existed. Guess what? That's the law of attraction. She attracted and manifested those things into her life. Another one is, there's this couple that I watched on YouTube like a while ago. I don't really remember exactly who they are, but they're not the only people that have done this. They had like this dream that they were going to live in like a really nice area of California. It was like with these like over like $1 million mansions, like really, really nice. And so they were like big dreamers, you know, they said they were going to do this. They were going to reach these goals. They were going to make the money they wanted to make. They were going to live in their dream home. And what helped them visualize that was actually going out to those homes. So like every week they would go out and they would tour the home. And it's because when they toured the home, they would walk through it and they would feel like envision themselves in it. And it would really help them like feel like they are in that house. And then guess what? They're now living in one of those homes.
Yeah.
So it happens. I mean, for some people, it's actually going out there. If it's that you want to get your dream car, or maybe go actually be in your dream car so you can get that feeling of this is your car. Mm-hmm. For some people, it's going into the house of their dreams and being in that house and envisioning themselves in there and really feeling it. And for some people, they can just envision this at home by meditating. So whatever it is that it takes for you to visualize yourself in the place that you want to be, whatever really truly makes you feel like you have it in your hands, then do it. Do it and make it a habit. Make it something that you enjoy doing. Because once you continue putting that energy out there, you envision yourself in that space, you will attract it into your life. And the most important thing is don't give up.
Nope.
It might not happen overnight. It might take you a while. But another big part of the law of attraction is it's not enough to just say that you want something. I mean, anybody can want something. You have to like really, really, really desire it in your soul. And you have to make proactive steps to go towards it. So in this movie, the one that we're talking about, which is called The Secret, there's a guy who used the law of attraction. I think he was the one who said that he was going to make like $100,000 in a year. Yeah, he said he was going to make $100,000 in a year. Didn't know how, had no idea how he was going to make it happen. But one day, all of a sudden, he remembered he had this book. And then he was like, hey, why don't I try to go sell this book? And he went to a store and he saw this newspaper called The Inquirer.
The Inquirer.
And then he went and he gave his book production to a college and everybody was like listening to his idea for the book. And then after that, guess who he ran into? A woman from The Inquirer who wanted to tell him about the book.
Wanted to do the interview.
And he made, well, he didn't exactly make the 100,000, but he pretty much almost made the 100. It was like 97,000.
Something like that.
From like his book sales. But anyway, the point is,
he did it.
Step 1, you have to ask for what you want, which he did, which we do. And then step 2, you have to like truly believe that it's going to happen. You have to really want it in your soul.
Yep.
And then step 3 is you have to receive that. And when those signs and everything start coming your way, you have to take advantage of it.
Yep.
It's a push and pull force. You push, it pulls, you push, you pull, and you work together.
That's right. It's like William Arthur Ward. If you can imagine it, you can achieve it. And if you can dream it, you can become it. Because the more you imagine yourself in that position, the more you imagine yourself in that home, the more you imagine yourself in that car, the more you imagine yourself in a relationship, then the more you can achieve it. Dream it, live it, breathe it, and become it. And by the time you know it, you're in it. You're in it. It works. It works. We use it all the time. Think about a time in your life when you wanted something so bad that you put that energy out there and you got it. And then there's some times where you put that energy out there and right before you're going to get it, you give up. So you can't give up. You got to constantly want it and constantly go after it. For some people, it takes longer. For some people, is quick. Mm-hmm. It all depends what you're putting out there and the desire.
That's true. I really like this this metaphor they used for like waiting for like the timing and like continuing and not giving up. It's like fertilizing a grass, right? Like let's say like you're fertilizing a grass and everything and you're trying to grow grass and what you can't see is the grass below the surface. Like the grass is just starting to get to the point where it's about to break through. And then it's been like a couple of weeks and you're just like, oh, it's not going to happen. You give up and it just, all the progress that you made just goes back down, goes back down, goes away. It was right about to break the surface, but right when it was about to happen, you gave up. Yep. So you can't give up. If it's something that you really want and something you desire in your soul, don't give up. Never give up. I mean, you hear it from people all the time, like famous people, like all the successful people always say, don't give up on your dreams. Don't give up on your dreams. Why do you think they say that?
Why you think they're successful?
Oh, you think that, they can do it. I can't. No, that's the biggest misconception.
Believe me, they're not rich because they were supposed to be rich. They're rich because they knew how to use the law of attraction.
They believed.
They knew and they believed. If you read on history on all those famous people, if you read history now, all those famous people, if you talk to the people that have hit the lottery, what is the thing that they say? Man, I've been playing this faithfully, and I saw myself getting that ticket. I saw myself getting that $1 million. You can ask them and they'll tell you they were really wanting it and desiring it, and they hit it. Yeah, some did. It took a little bit longer, but they hit. They never gave up. But if you're going to put it out there and then you're going to say, man, it's just not going to happen, but I really want it to happen, but it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen because you're already putting out there, it's not going to happen. Like Winston Churchill, another famous person, he said, you create your own universe as you go along. And that is so true. If you want to be in poverty, you're going to stay in poverty. If you want abundance, you will have abundance. We weren't put here to be depressed, to be unhappy, to be poor. We were put here to enjoy life and to enjoy everything around us. It's up to you what you want to do with your surroundings and what you want to attract.
And the most important thing is stop talking about the things you don't want. Talk about the things that you do want.
Or the things that you don't have, and be grateful for the things that you do have.
That's true.
Because once you start being grateful for the things that you do have, even if it's just one t-shirt hanging in your closet with a little hole, but you have it, it's yours. And be grateful that you have it and you can wear it because it's covering you. You have it. So if you start being grateful for the things that you do have, it just leads to more positive energy and more positive thoughts.
And speaking of that, there's this quote. It's actually from Oprah. Oprah Winfrey said, "Be thankful for what you have. You'll end up having more. If you concentrate on what you don't have, you will never, ever have enough."
Another famous person.
Another famous, successful person.
Who's using the law of attraction.
They all have these things in common. It's true.
They all have law of attraction. Mm-hmm. So...
And what do all the people that bad things happen to or that are miserable, they always say, oh, I didn't want this. Oh, I didn't want that to happen. I was worried that this was going to happen and then it happened, or blah, blah, blah. It's like it's the same kind of thinking. It's the same thing at work, whether you realize it or not. It's the law of attraction.
Yeah, it's like when she's trying to make her vegan pancakes be fluffy. She keeps telling the pancakes, don't flatten, don't flatten, don't flatten. And so what happens? It flattens because she's telling it not to flatten. So the universe is saying, well, flat.
So I didn't hear that I said don't flatten. It just heard flatten. It heard the action word, flatten, 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 flatten. So now I'm going to try saying fluff, fluff, fluff. And maybe that will give me my desired outcome. Maybe like fluff, fluff. Fluff. You know why? Because even though I'm envisioning in my head, I was like, they're going to be fluffy. They're going to be fluffy. They're going to be fluffy. And then outwardly I'm saying, don't flatten, don't flatten, don't flatten.
So we kind of came up with this like, hey, so this is how the universe listens. They don't listen to yes. They don't listen to no. They don't listen to I don't want. They don't listen to I can't. It only listens to the action word. The verb, the action word. That's all the universe listens to.
Flatten, flatten, flatten.
So the most creative process is in steps. You want to do step 1, you want to ask. Then you want to do step 2, you want to believe what you're asking for. And step 3 is you'll receive. Because once you put the first 2 steps with passion, the third step just comes natural. You know the movie where the guy kept getting the whispers saying, if you build it, they will come. And he's thinking, build
Where's that
what?
from?
Build what? And it was a baseball field in his backyard. He had all this land, and they said, if you build it, they will come. So he started to build it. And as he was building it, he started believing it. And he built it, and they came. So if you're not putting it out there, it's not going to come. You have to believe in it. You have to work on it, and you'll receive it.
What I like to do is I like the approach of believe you already have it.
Mm-hmm.
Believe that you already have it, and then you will have it.
Like what Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said. Take the first step in faith. You don't have to see the whole staircase. Just take the first step. Because as you start taking steps, more stairs will appear. Because you're not going to fall off unless you take a step back.
And also, isn't what made him so revolutionary is instead of saying that things needed to end, he spoke about the way that things were to be.
Exactly.
He put his energy towards the desired outcome.
I mean, look at all of these famous people for all the things they did. Martin Luther King Jr., Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Rosa Parks, all these famous people that did something and changed things because they were positive. They were positive and they knew what they can do and achieve. And they did. They achieved it.
So another thing that has helped us is we actually made our own vision boards. If you don't know what a vision board is, basically you take it could be anything like construction paper, poster board. I have a big cork board, and basically what you do is you put what your vision is for what you want in your future. So whatever that is that your future looks like, you put it on this board. And then you fill the board up with all of your desires and what you see in your future. And then you put it in a place that you're going to see it constantly. So you can put it next to your bed. So every morning when you wake up, it's the first thing you see is your vision board. And it keeps you fueled and it keeps you thinking about all the things that you want so that you're constantly thinking about it when you get up, when you go to sleep, and you're carrying that throughout your day so that you're continuing to remain with those positive thoughts in your head and those things that you desire. So it's just another tool that helps you with manifesting your desired results of your life.
Yeah, on the movie The Secret, there was one that was speaking about his vision board and how he did his vision. Oh, I know. He did his vision board, and there was a particular house that was one of his dream homes, and he cut the house out and he put it on his vision board, and he moved a couple of times. Like he said, he moved a couple of times, and the last home that he moved in, it was the home he moved in because he made it. He became successful, he made it, and he bought the house. So his son comes into the room and he still has some boxes packed. And his son says, "Hey, Dad, what's in this box?" And he's like, "Oh, those are my vision boards," because he had many vision boards. Mm-hmm. And then his son said, "Well, what is a vision board?" So he started explaining to his son what the vision board was. And he pulled out one of the vision boards. And as he was explaining to his son and looking at it, he realized that he was actually living in the exact same house that he put years ago on his vision board. It wasn't a house similar to it. It was the house. And that's when he said it hit him. It works. It really, really works.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Crazy.
So if you're wondering, does the law of attraction work, or will the law of attraction work for me?
Put it to the test.
You are the answer. You had to answer that own question, because if your answer is, oh, you don't believe it, then no, it's not going to work. You have to believe.
Yep.
If you believe it will work for you.
Yep.
And so don't just take our word for it. Watch this movie. It's called The Secret. It's available on Netflix and Hulu, I believe. I believe it's available on both.
It's not available on Hulu anymore, but it is available on Netflix.
Yes, it's available on Netflix. So highly, 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 highly recommend that you watch this movie. It really, like, I don't say it about a lot of things, but it really truly did change my life in a lot of the ways that I look at things. And then I also am reading this book called The Last Law of Attraction Book You'll Ever Need to Read. It's available on Kindle Unlimited. I'm currently reading it right now, and I like it because it's like an add-on to the movie. It's not like a repetition of what you're watching on The Secret. It's like taking The Secret and adding like additional context to it. So if you watch the movie and you're still wondering, but how do I make this an everyday part of my life? That's what this book is for. And again, the movie is called The Secret. The picture is like an envelope with a stamp on it, like a what are those stamps called? It's like
those old stamps that they used.
It's like
to
a really
seal
old stamp.
I forget with candle wax.
Yes, a wax stamp. Here. And then the book is called The Last Law of Attraction Book You'll Ever Need to Read. Highly recommend both of those things.
So The Secret is...
What's the secret? I want to know. Tell me the secret.
All right, so you can watch The Secret on Netflix, like we said. The author of The Secret is Rhonda Byrne.
Rhonda Byrne. Byrne?
So the author is Rhonda Byrne or Rhonda Byrne. I hope that I'm saying her name right. She's the one who did the movie. She's also the author of the book The Secret. You can get that book off of Amazon. You can get it off of Barnes and Noble.
Kindle.
You can do Kindle. So you can either read it or you can watch it on Netflix. Let's see. She also has other books like The Gratitude. Now, I looked at other movies and other books, but I felt touched more by her than other authors. Not to say that they're not good, because every author, they have their book out there for a reason. They're all great writers. But she's the one who has The Secret on Netflix. And then what's good about the book that Sammy was talking about is that it kind of complements The Secret. So you watch The Secret and it tells you all this great stuff about, how The Secret works and how to put that energy out there. But the book tells you the steps on how to use it, how to use what The Secret is talking about.
Yeah, basically it's like how to incorporate it into your everyday life.
Right. I incorporated into my life after I watched The Secret. I got some notebooks and I called it my gratitude book because I had so many negative thoughts. I needed to write down my gratitude and look at it. And every day I wrote down 3 things I was grateful for. And every day I wrote what I was grateful for. 3 things, whether they were the same, whether they were different. I did it every day to get into the mindset of what I'm grateful for. So every day I am grateful. I say it before I go to sleep. I say it when I get up, of all the things that I'm grateful for. I got so used to being grateful and putting it out there that I don't even need to use the notebook anymore, because now I get up, I'm grateful. I go to bed, I'm grateful. So I'm just grateful for the day. I'm grateful for the day I spend with my family. I'm grateful for the home that we live in. I'm grateful for everything, for the plate of food that I eat, for the clothes that we wear, for the cars that we drive. I'm grateful. So those are things that you just start putting into your mindset. Meditate it, pray it. Those are all great things to do. Surround yourself in peace. Because if you surround yourself in peace, then you will have peace. But if you keep saying, oh, all these people, I can't have peace, then that's what you're attracting. So you just have to be in that mindset. And it's funny how a lot of people say, well, I keep saying I want peace, I want peace, I want peace. Or I keep saying I'm tired of all the drama, I'm tired of all the drama. But it just keeps like I'm attracting drama, or drama is just attracted to me. Well, you're attracting it. If you don't want drama, then say I want peace. If you don't want, you just don't put out there what you don't want. Put out there what you do want.
But also, if you're saying I want peace and yet you're saying it with like stress, or you're saying it in frustration or anger, then the negative emotion is going to attract another additional negative outcome. You have to put yourself in a happy place. You have to feel positive emotions along with your positive phrases. So you could be saying, I want peace, I want peace, I want peace, but you're like stressed, you're crying, you're stressing out, you're disappointed, you're feeling angry, you're feeling all these things. And those negative emotions are going to attract negative things, because again, like attracts like.
Yep.
So if you're feeling negative, but you're asking for something positive, well, that's conflicting, isn't it? Why do you always have to do that?
Sorry, that's why I say like this so I don't interrupt you.
If you are feeling negative emotions, you're going to attract negative things. If you are feeling positive emotions, you're going to attract positive things. There's more than just one step to getting your desired outcome. You have to feel it. And when we say feel it, you have to feel a positive emotion. They talk about this in the movie as well. When you watch it. So if you're saying I want peace, then you have to put yourself, or do whatever it takes to make yourself feel at peace while you're asking for that, so that positive emotion will continue to draw more positivity to you.
Right.
If you're saying I want peace, where you're like freaking out, you're stressed, you're feeling this and that, well, you're going to continue attracting those emotions, because that's what you're putting out there. If you're putting out stress, you're going to get back stress. If you're putting out peace, you're going to get back peace.
Another example, when
your
people
word
say,
and action your words and emotions have to match.
Right. When people say, well, I try that. I keep telling the universe, I want money. I want money. I need money. I need money.
Where's my money?
Where's my money? And no money comes. Well, think of how you're asking for it. You're not really asking for it. You're saying, where's my money? I need to pay my bills. Where's my money? I need money. I need money. I don't have any money in the bank account. So you're giving positive with negative, and the universe don't know what you want. Like, what do you want? Okay, she's focusing more on the negative, so I'll just give her the negative. So it's the same thing.
Oh, you want money? Here's a bill. That's got money on it.
Where's my money?
Well, money out, not money in, but you said money, and you're talking about lack of money, of which
so
you need it. So more lack of money.
And it's the same thing with relationships too. If you've been married for a long time, and then you start looking at your spouse and you're like, oh, he makes me so sick, or she just keeps nagging and nagging and nagging and nagging. So we start focusing on all the negative of our spouses. And then what happens is just more negativity. And then you start feeling like, oh, this is hopeless. Well, don't. Start thinking of your spouse when you first met them, what attracted you to them, all the good things that they do for you in the day. Do they bring you something to eat? Did they bring you flowers? So don't think of all the negative stuff. Start thinking of all the positive stuff, and then you'll see your relationship will change as well.
All right, guys. So we're going to go ahead and end off the episode, and each of us is going to give you our favorite quote, and we'll just give you a little question to ask yourself or to think about. So my favorite quote is from Gandhi, which is, be the change you wish to see in the world. And my question to you is, what is that change you wish to see, and how can you become?
My favorite quote is, what you think you become, what you feel you attract, what you imagine you create. Buddha. Thanks for tuning in.
Our podcast is now also available on Apple Podcasts.
You can also go and listen on YouTube and subscribe to our channel.
Don't forget to stay safe, stay healthy, and we hope you manifest everything you desire in life.